238-6 Romeo.
Cherokee 2386 Romeo, Concord ground.
2386 Romeo is a student pilot at the south ramp with Zulu, looking to set up flight following to Lumberton, Lima, Bravo, Tango at 5,500.
Cherokee 86 Romeo, roger, I'll put that in for you. Runway 2, taxi to Alpha.
Runway 2 the Alpha, 2386 Romeo. Concord Tower, Cherokee 2386 Romeo, holding short, runway 2, ready to go.
And Cherokee 2386 Romeo, Concord Tower, runway 2, clear for takeoff on departure, right turn on course.
Runway 2, clear for takeoff, right turn on departure, 2386 Romeo.
So after not killing myself on my first solo cross country, my instructor and the FAA decided that I needed to do another one. The FAA requires that student pilots have a total of 5 hours solo cross-country time before qualifying for a private pilot certificate. My first solo cross-country was about 157 nautical miles and took me about 2.3 hours to complete, so my instructor made this one a little bit longer to make sure I got all of that time in. This one will take me from KJQF, my home airport in Concord, North Carolina, to KLBT in Lumberton, North Carolina. From there, I'll fly southwest towards KFLO in Florence, South Carolina, and then finally, I'll head northwest back to KJQF.
Airspeed's coming alive. 40, 50, 60, rotate. We're going to climb out at 85.
As last time, I'll be navigating via pilotage and dead reckoning. A quick reminder, pilotage means navigation via landmarks. Dead reckoning means using speed, wind, and a clock to estimate if I've got enough fuel to make it to my destination. When my instructor told me this cross-country would also use this form of navigation, I was a little surprised. I thought I'd get a chance to practice navigating via an instrument called VOR. When I asked him, he said I'd get more of that when I finish up my hood time. The FAA requires that private pilots have 3 hours of simulated instrument flying, where I wear a device that makes it so that the only thing I can see are my instruments. With a private pilot license, I will not be legally allowed to fly only by instrument, but that doesn't prevent me from accidentally getting into instrument conditions. When this happens, you can't trust your senses. You have to trust what your instruments are telling you. So the FAA makes it a requirement to have some basic knowledge of instrument flying just to be able to safely get out of instrument conditions if you accidentally get into them. I have 1.5 hours of instrument flying that I still have to do, so I'll get more practice navigating via instruments then. Back to this flight. It includes 2 legs that are super easy to navigate via pilotage and dead reckoning, and one that's a little trickier. The first leg starts off pointed at Lake Tillery, which is formed by a dam of the Great Pee River, both of which are very easy to see from the airplane. After that, I pass Blewett Falls Lake, another lake formed by a dam of the PD. Then I'll pass right overhead of 3 very easy-to-find cities and 2 even easier-to-find airports. After that, there's a highway and a railroad track that leads straight to Lumberton.
I see the lake, I see Lake Tillery, and I see the Lake Tillery Dam, but I don't see that river that extends off of it, which I would have expected to see at this point. There is Anson County. There's my river. There's my next lake.
On the 44 X-ray, targets do appear likely to merge. There's like a turn to the west.
Here's me landing at Lumberton. I'm not proud of this landing. I overshot final, and all the way to the ground I was poorly aligned with the runway. I managed to save the landing, but I probably should have gone around and done a cleaner approach. But I did manage to save it, and I taxied back and took off on my second leg.
20052, 3 mile final, practice ILS 344 south Anson.
Way overshot. We're also super fast. Whoa. A little bit long.
Marion County traffic, Scotty 198, ready to 20 to the northwest, man.
Okay, not bad. Okay, and then we're gonna go here.
Northward Max in traffic, Cessna 923 Papa is 8 miles to the west. Will come in on a 45 for left downwind runway 5. Max.
50. 60. Rotate. Climb out at 85.
My instructor intentionally chose a route that took me to Florence. The reason is that there's a DPE that works at that airport. A DPE is a designated pilot examiner, and that's who I'll be using as the examiner for my check ride. A check ride is basically the final exam. It involves an interview portion and actually flying the airplane to demonstrate certain skills. If I pass the check ride, I'm officially a private pilot with all the responsibilities and privileges that come with it. The most notable of which is that I'll be allowed to carry passengers, and also go fly an airplane without requiring my CFI's permission.
Runway 5, we'll depart the pattern out of the downwind.
This second leg is pretty easy to navigate, because I-95 is just to my right the entire way, and the city of Dillon and its airport, KDLC, are an approximate halfway point.
Northward Max in traffic, Cessna 923 Papa is 5 miles to
November 86 Romeo, extend downwind. Traffic to follow is a diamond in the left downwind runway 1. Report traffic in sight.
We'll extend downwind. I have traffic in sight. 86 Romeo.
November 86 Romeo, extend downwind. I'll call your base.
You'll call my base. 86 Romeo.
Florence is a towered airport, and on this particular day it was quite busy. So the tower was trying to position me to land in sequence with other airplanes that were there. They even gave me a warning about birds in the area as I was on short final. When I first started flight training, interruptions at this point would have totally thrown me out of my comfort zone. To me, this feels like growth that not only did I handle it, but I also had a pretty good landing. Certainly much better than at Lumberton.
Okay, airspeed. Aiming point. Airspeed 75.
Number 86 Romeo, use caution, flock of birds circling the approach in runway 1, 78, left side I believe, up to 200 feet.
Roger, 86 Romeo. Am I clear to land?
Number 86 Romeo, affirmative, runway 1, clear to land.
Runway 1, clear to land, 86 Romeo.
November 3 Delta Sierra, left door, right close, traffic approved.
Left traffic for 3 Delta Sierra.
Wheels to the floor.
472 runway 1, cleared for the option, traffic, Cherokee departing prior to arrival.
300 making power. Temperature and pressure is in the green.
Runway 1, clear for the option. 15472.
Airspeed's alive. 50. 60. Rotate. Oof. Climb out at 55.
The last leg of the trip starts off being pretty easy to navigate. Darlington, South Carolina has Darlington Motor Speedway, which is distinctive and very easy to see from the air. Soon after, there's Darlington County Airport, which looks like a gigantic triangle. This is the airport I landed at in my first solo cross-country, and it's an old military airport. Here's a satellite picture of what it looks like. The runways with the X's on them have been closed down for some time now, but the concrete is still there and it makes it really easy to see from the air.
Traffic inside 86 uniform, outside.
Number 86 uniform, roger. Number 4, remute.
The tricky part of this leg is after this, everything gets harder to find. There's nothing gigantic like Lake Tillery, the PD River, or even a triangle-shaped airport that's easy to see. The sectional chart makes it look like I could use the airports at Cheraw and Pageland as navigation points. But this is what they look like from a satellite. Do you see them? Yeah, me either. Here's where they are. And they're almost as difficult to see from the airplane. But they're what I have, so that's what I look for.
Gotta be the town of...
At a 2 Papa Foxtrot, climb maintain 8,000.
There it is.
8,000, 2 Papa Foxtrot.
I found it. 1051.
After finding Pageland, it's pretty easy to get home, but with one significant issue to worry about: Bravo airspace. Charlotte Douglas International Airport is a major connector hub for American Airlines. There are a lot of airline flights into and out of this airport, so the airspace around it is called Class Bravo airspace. Bravo airspace is divided into shelves, which have altitude restrictions. To be able to fly into this airspace, you need to have been specifically cleared to fly there. ATC needs to say your airplane number cleared into the Bravo before someone flying that airplane can be in the airspace. But in my case, I'm a student pilot. I'm not allowed into the Bravo at all. If they were to clear me, I'd have to respond with unable student pilot, no Bravo. Violating Bravo airspace is a big deal, and for a good reason. Here's a screenshot I took of the airspace just now with live tracking of flights arriving and departing. It's crazy busy, pretty much all the time. For my flight, there are 3 Bravo shelves that I have to worry about. This one, where the Bravo airspace is between 6,000 and 10,000 feet. Since I'm flying at 4,500 feet, that one isn't much of a worry for me. This one, where it's between 5,000 and 10,000 feet. In this shelf, I have to make sure not to let my altitude drift higher. Finally, the Bravo shelf over my home airport is between 3,600 and 10,000 feet. I have to make sure that I descend from 4,500 to 3,000 before I get to where that shelf starts. The good news is that there's a railroad track, Highway 24, and the town of Midland that are pretty easy to see, so all I have to do is get down before that and I'll avoid an uncomfortable conversation with the FAA.
Charlotte Skyhawk 1331 Yankee.
Now, the only thing left to do is land back at Concord.
Hey, looks like it's straight down the runway. We're very high. We're going to do this.
In this approach, I found myself a little bit higher than I wanted to be, so I did something called a forward slip. That is, I turned the yoke in one direction and the rudder in the opposite direction. What I want is to increase my descent rate without increasing my airspeed. By turning myself this way, I do just that. I then release it and do a normal landing. And this one I was quite pleased with.
A little low. Aiming point. Airspeed. Aiming point. Made the runway. Oh, was that a beautiful landing? Oh, man.
Cherokee 2386 Romeo, turn left at Delta and then taxi to the ramp via Alpha and Alpha 6.
Left at Delta, Alpha 6, 2386 Romeo.
In my flight training, the cross countries have been the most fun part for me. I love the feeling of actually having gone somewhere and seen someplace new. I love the feeling of accomplishment from doing that entirely on my own. What's next for me in the journey to become a private pilot is mostly preparing for my check ride. I have to study my butt off for the interview portion of that, and then I have to be able to demonstrate a bunch of skills in the airplane to the examiner, some of which I haven't mastered yet. But all of that is for another video. This one is done. Please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave me a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.